Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Sister Deborah. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Great to see you. Great to see you. I'm just letting the background noise play for a little bit before came on here for a quick little 15 minute, maybe 5 minutes, maybe something like that. But yeah, Shabbat Shalom, fam. Shabbat Shalom. Just coming to spend some time, and per usual, drop what me and Abba were going through today, what he was taking me through today, type of flow. So prayerfully all as well. But yeah, pretty much how it started was we're going to take this do-rag off. All praises. Before I go ahead and spend some time with my family. Got some family coming in, got my sister coming in, so I'm gonna go. It should be here in a little bit. If not, I'm gonna go over there and help prep anyway. But praise Yah for another Barak Shabbat, another Barak Yom. And I was, not able to not do the campfire thing today, but just led not to do that in that specific form type of thing, but still a campfire, still a wave, But Abo had me on perspective today. Perspective. It is the thing, and is a thing within itself as well, Matter of fact, let me go ahead and warm up this vehicle before I pull off anyway, too. But perspective. Hold that thought at perspective, right? All right, so yeah, perspective. And I was at the, I decided to go ahead and was led to, first off, my big brother sent me some Rise coffee. So I gave that out some, oh man, there ain't no free promo either. But I started that and ended up at the park. I did a live from the park before. And I was walking, mind you, this is all about perspective that Abba had me on. Didn't realize it until the end, but that of course is perspective. It's per the spect, of the activity. But I'm walking down the trail and stuff like that, and the trail just won't hitting. It wasn't hitting at all. And I'm walking. I'm like, man, Abba, like, I'm trying to get some rest. I'm resting in you. But he had me on to a thing of what do you like to do before I got to the park, right? He was like, what do you like to do? And I blew that off, right? I blew that off. I kept going. So I got to the park and I was walking. I was like, yo, the trail ain't hitting right. The trail ain't hitting. And I walked by a couple people and, they give a head nod. And I walked past a couple people twice and it felt awkward. And I'm just like, what is this? And the next thought in my head was, let me find a football field. And not a football field, a soccer field. Let me find a soccer field, right? So I'm walking down the trail and I finally see the soccer field. But at the end of the trail, at the end of all this, what I realized about the trail is that, that's a place where people go to get their thoughts off their mind in a clean way. You get what I'm saying? In a righteous way. So they're not choosing to do anything wild. But on that path, it seems kind of dark and people seem kind of awkward and people seem kind of down because, it's a path. It's like a work of a thing. So I was looking for the football field. I mean, I don't want to keep saying it is football, but the soccer field. And I'm walking around the soccer field and it's in a box. And those that know Hebrew characters, the square is the dalat. It's the dalet. It's the door. So I end up walking around outside the box. And mind you, I'm not realizing all this. I realized all this on the walk back to the car. But I'm walking around the soccer field. And again, it's a box, walking around the door, walking around outside, just outside the door of my own perspective, and then next thing you know, I'm looking at the birds, I'm looking at the squirrels, and I just start hitting a little brisk little jog, right? A little brisk little jog. And I haven't ran in a long time, but your boy used to do track. I was a sprinter, and a semi-distance runner. Tried cross country one time, never tried that again. But I'm a runner, so you know, as I'm running, right, I jog, and then the jog, it brings up the pace, and then I'm remembering how to get my breaths right, the 2 inhales and the 2 exhales as I'm going, you know, per 4 steps. And that's my pace to get a mile in under a certain amount of time. You know, all this is coming back. Right, next thing you know, like, no lie, I started to hear like the crowd, you know, from the track meets again, as I'm looking up in the trees and look up at the skies, because the coach always says, always look up, right? Again, it's all perspective. And as I'm running, that's when the thought hits me. I'm like, that's why I had to get off that trail, because everybody's on this part of their perspective of life, and that's okay. But it's like they come here to walk their problems out. I didn't come here with the problem. I came here with the joy of expressing. You know, as I'm going around this soccer field, this square, you know, this dalat, that's what it reminds me of, 4 sides door, you know, for those that know. I'm going around, I'm going around, I'm going around. Next thing you know, I hit a mile. I didn't hit a mile out of nowhere, you know, and he said, see, that's perspective. Did you forget that you like to do that too? You know, and I was talking to my big brother today, and he was like, the one important thing about, because usually we'll be on TikTok live at 3 o'clock to do like a you know, a little study type thing. We call it the campfire. And he was like, yo, it's great that we did this today and relax today, because once it becomes a chore, right, not a burden, but once it becomes like a chore, it's no longer in the love of Abba. Now you're just there for the people, you know. Now you're just there for the people. And it made me think about not throwing any shade at anybody, but just putting people in a situation. It's like, well, what about if all these other teachers had time to just like, hey, just sit around and just talk to people, see where they're at, you know what I mean? Get that bird's eye view type thing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, just came on here real quick to just give a little reminder to give you a perspective on this day of rest. For those that know, I observed Shabbat today. Day of rest, of resting in always, but this is just a day I like to hone in on it. You know what I mean? But this day of rest, just get that perspective in order. Kind of land me backed off of the last live, but yeah, perspective is very important. It's very important, because you're doing the same righteous thing, moving the same righteous way, just in another direction. It's not the wrong way to go. You know, sometimes he has to put you in certain situations, and you know, you're fighting to get that win. You know, you're just trying to get that win, and once you finally get that win, it all comes together. You know, it's perspective. It's perspective. But yeah, that was really it. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy at all. As everybody's getting their day going. Right? But yeah, get that perspective in. Making sure that's it before I get off here. Making sure before I head up the road a little bit, but this Rise coffee really is good though. All praises. Yeah, I think that's about it. But y'all continue to have a very restful day. Keep that perspective in mind. Don't get down on yourself. You know, if you're not doing the same thing that you think you should be doing, and not knowing or not feeling like it's the right thing to do. You know, don't feel guilty about not doing anything. Don't feel guilty about moving a certain way, because if anything was to change, it's going to change in the hand of Yah. It's going to change in the hand of the Most High. Right? So everything you're in is what you're in, because you're in his hand. He's not far. He's looking right at you. He's holding you while you're going through everything. And he might just take in your hand and just shift you around a little bit. Not that you're not still at the campfire, but you know that you're doing what he has you to do in the moment. You know, just stay in the moment. Don't be afraid of the moment. Don't run away from the moment. You know what I mean? Don't run away from the moment. And don't Don't keep your head down on that path in the park. You know what I mean? Because sometimes those paths, when you're walking the path and you're going in the trees, it can seem kind of dark. It can seem kind of shady. You know, it's a good thing. But then you start looking at the people and their heads are down and they're kind of zoned out. They got headphones on. They're on their phone. The whole point of being in nature is to be aware of what's around you. You know. But then let them people be on that path for a little while, because they passed that same soccer field that's wide open. As I'm running around the soccer field, you know, it's like David when he had that sling in his the stone in his sling, and he's wrapping it around his head. You know, and I'm running around the soccer field. I'm looking up in the sky, and I'm just looking up at the sky, surrounded by trees. But it's like this box where I can just look right at the sky, right at y'all as I'm running. You know. Then I start looking at the birds, and the birds are running. You know, not running, flying with me. You know, that's, you know, the squirrels start darting across me a little bit here and there. You know, they're used to people at the park. They live at the park. You know. But how wide open and beautiful and how sunny it is. And you can tell where the path is at is because it's darker over there. You know what I mean? And it's not even that it's dark. It's just that it's a little cloudy. But there's a wide open space available. It's all about perspective. But wherever you are right now, at this moment, you're right in the hands of Yah. You know? And it's not even to be like, and even talking about it and talking about it to other people, it's not being sad about anything. It's not asking for pity, you know? It's just relation, because we're all going through this. We're all going through life. We're all going through many different things. Some might be going through a high and some might be going through a low at the same time, you know? But perspective is reality. You're not going to be able to stand up and talk or speak to anybody or anything like that, you know, if you're not used to talking through it. If you're not used to talking to yourself, through yourself. You know what I mean? Everybody speaks from a position of pain. Everybody speaks from a position of pain. It's not just one person. It's not nothing to be ashamed of either. Everybody speaks from a position of pain. And that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be, you know? That's the way it's supposed to be. Because what we're put into life in a choice. We're put into a choice. We're created by choice. We're created for choice. Which way we go, which way we choose, all that's presented to us is the perspective of the path that we went on, you know? Now reflect on that, go back on that, go forth on that, you know? But realize it's perspective. That's it. Everything is a view. Everything ain't clear. Some things are cloudy. You know? But it's all just a view. You can literally look another way. Literally. In that moment, you can literally look in another direction and shift it all. In a blink of an eye, in a shift of an eye, in a shift of a view. Everything changes. You know? I like that one. I like that one. In the blink of an eye, everything changes. Literally though, but it's perspective. You know, you look through your eyes at something, you're looking at life through a view. But what y'all remind me of today is that when I was younger and running track, and then older, and mind you, I haven't ran in who knows how long. I'm not saying that part, but it's like it's perspective. You know, it's the same thing I love, but I forgot that I love that. You know, because now I look at it, it's like, man, I'm not running. I look at it, I look at the obstacle, all right, no, I'm not running. But he's like, yo, you had that same, it's the same set of eyes you got on you. You know, Pop's like, I'm still Pops. Like, you don't think you can run? Take off now. Go ahead, take off. And I sure did. You feel me? Sure did. Sure not did. Well, it's perspective. Ain't nothing changed. It's just how much you can do of it. You know, we're all sent the same life, but go through the different problems. The same problems in different ways. So there's really nothing to be ashamed of. It's just who can you talk to about it. That's all. And sometimes you don't need to talk about it. Sometimes you just need to be with the wind and cut through the wind. You know, like that Gad. Cut through that wind. But yeah, I think that's what Ravak was moving with right there. I think that's what it was. Got it up out there. Got it up out there. I wasn't gonna quit. I was gonna wrestle with that thing till I got up out there. But yeah, perspective. I win. But yeah, get that win, y'all. Get that win. It makes that day that much better. But yeah, that's about it, I reckon. Man, I think that's about it for real that time. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this little bit of sip and then take off the road. You know, my sister should be here in a little bit, my nieces and nephews and all that stuff. So I'm enjoying some family time. Y'all enjoyed yours too. Shabbat Shalom, fam. Peace and love, peace and blessings. Until next time. But for right now and always, perspective. We're all going through the same thing. Literally the same thing, the same issues in different forms, right? But that perspective is that you're still in the hand of Yah. You're still in the hand of Yah. It's still that righteous direction. It's still Father. He's still right there with you. He's there with you right now. So I'm still Abba. And I'm telling you, from that day when I was needing all that rest to now, I feel great. But also perspective is just because you feel great don't mean that you need to hop on for 2 hours again. that means there needs to be some more that he has for me in a different view, in a different time. You know? And we'll see what that is for the rest of the day. Praise Yah. But rock on, fam. Till next time. Peace.